What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another pre-match fan show and press conference reaction. Ryan Mason's press conference has been done, and I can tell you right now, it is all about the next game for this.
He's just concentrating on the next game.
He's just concentrating on this next game for this massive football club. It's
just a pleasure to be managing this football club.
Exactly.
I can tell you what he's going to tell you. I haven't seen the press conference yet, but I'm telling you, that's exactly what he's going to say.
Do you think Harry, the question is going to be, do you think Harry Kane's thinking of leaving us? I tell you what he is thinking about. He's thinking about the next game for this football club, for this next massive game for this football club. We've got 2 cup finals left to play. Europa League is on the line, and this next game for this football club is massive.
Exactly, that's what it's all about for Spurs. Just about the next game. It's all about that next game. But we do have Villa tomorrow. Fans back in the stadiums. There will be a demonstration held by the Supporters Trust as well.
Yeah.
They're going to be making a open letter film that's going to be sent to the club about how the fans feel about the current situation. So stuff is happening around the club in that sense. It's going to be interesting to see how things progress. But in terms of the importance of the actual football match, we need the win to get into Europa League next season, with West Ham playing against West Brom tomorrow as well, just after we play. So it's important that we don't take our eye off the ball, but it's not like we're fighting for anything that players like Kane and Son should be fighting for.
No, but if we do kind of lose this game or drop points in this game, it really puts into doubt our Europa League standings for next season, and it could mean that we will be playing in the Conference League next year. So in my opinion, it's very important. The next game is very important.
Forget about keeping Kane. It's all about convincing his replacement to come.
Yeah.
I guess if we're in the Conference League or not in European football, it might be a bit more difficult to convince a player. I don't know.
You know what? I'm hearing some people being like, "Oh, how can we convince someone of top quality to come here when Kane is not thinking about staying and Kane wants to leave and what have you?" But when Kane was here, we couldn't convince strikers to come here anyway because they didn't want to compete with Kane.
Exactly.
So it opens up a space there in the squad for sure for a top quality player to come in.
I think we can convince a lot of. There are players we can convince to come, but it's whether but it kind of rules out anyone in the Champions League, to be honest. So anyone who's playing Champions League football is highly unlikely we can convince them to come. It's all about the lower band and how many players in that lower band are of the quality even half as good as Harry Kane. So few of them. Like I can't think of any that are really like that good. So it's going to be so difficult to replace.
I'm sure there's been players when we were in Europa League back in 10, 15 years ago, whenever it was, under a Martin Jol, under a Harry Redknapp, that we did convince, Champions League players to come here. There must have been some. Maybe Dimitar Berbatov or Leverkusen must have been in the Champions League then.
We played them in the Europa League, didn't we?
We played, that's right. Yeah, that's when Berbatov came. That was his first year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you're right. But didn't they get to the Champions League final a year before that, or 2 years before that?
5 years before that. No, that was a long time ago before. I think he actually made an appearance in that final, but yeah, that was a long time before. Convincing players to come from Champions League clubs to play in Europa League is going to be a tough ask, especially if we're not going to pay them top wages.
Soldado, was he in a Champions League?
That I don't remember. Potentially, he might have been, but I'm not 100% sure. Dark Sunji 21 says, if we can't get top 4, would you want to go with Europa, Chelsea or Liverpool? Or do you want Chelsea to be 5th and win CL and Liverpool 4th Europa? Well, if Chelsea finish 5th and win CL, it just means 5 teams in the Champions League. So it doesn't make a difference to Liverpool being in Europa League. So who would you rather be in Europa League, Chelsea or Liverpool?
Chelsea. Because it means they haven't won the Champions League.
True. All right. Are we going to... So I wonder who we will go for if Kane does end up leaving. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of profile of striker we go for. But are we going to listen? Should we listen to the presser?
Yeah, let's listen to the presser. and then we'll start getting people on. If you do want to have your say, do go to the community section. Link is there right now. So if you want to come on and have your say on the upcoming Villa game, ENIC out, or the Mason press conference, or Harry Kane, or whatever you want to have your say on, link is in the community section for all you members right now. Brian Daigle already in the back end waiting to come on. So we're going to get through this press conference, get Brian on, and then get to the rest of you guys. So let's start off with the press conference.
Ryan,
it's 10 minutes shorter than
said
last time, so happy days.
To Harry Kane ahead of this game.
How are you feeling? He feels fine. Looking forward to tomorrow. He's going to be 100% committed. I'm looking forward to seeing him play in our beautiful stadium in front of our fans. So we're excited about tomorrow.
Still there, Paul? I don't know who's gone. You do again, Paul?
Yep, sorry, it was muted again. Apologies. Ryan, with what's happened over the last 24 hours, how do you think this plays out, this Harry Kane future?
I think he starts tomorrow because he's our best striker and one of the best strikers in the world. I've said all along, and I've been pretty consistent in my messages to you guys, whether that's about my future, whether that's about management, managers for next season. The facts are that I'm here for the next 2 games, and that's my main focus, on putting a team out and preparing a football team to win those games of football. And hopefully tomorrow we can do that with Harry up front, and hopefully has an influence on the game.
Do you think, is it quite sad potentially for you, a good friend of him, former teammate, and the club in general, that this potentially could be his last home game for the club if Tottenham do accept a bid?
No, there's no sadness for me. I'm happy because we've got our fans back in our stadium. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited. I know the players are as well. The fans will make a big difference. And like I say, our focus here, for me, the players, everyone involved, is can we get 3 points tomorrow? It's not easy to win games in the Premier League. I say it all the time. We have to respect Aston Villa, and we will do that, and we're ready for the game. So no sadness. I'm excited about tomorrow.
And has he said anything to you? Has he confided in you about this? And is it a difficult one to take, the thought of him potentially playing at a different club, perhaps even another Premier League club?
Yeah, I speak to Harry pretty much every day. Before I got this job, I spoke to Harry pretty much every day. He's excited along with me about tomorrow. Our only discussions have been about the game tomorrow, about the game at the weekend against Wolves. He's excited. We're all excited. We want to play in front of our fans. It's a home game in the Premier League, and we know the importance of it. So we're looking forward to tomorrow.
And European football, of course, is still possible. The Champions League looking very difficult. How much do you feel that has contributed to this situation?
And what do you mean by that question? Sorry, Paul.
Sorry, to this. How much has that contributed to this situation with Harry?
Oh no, I don't think so. I think what we've seen with Harry over the course of this season, and all our players, they've been committed. Harry's played, I don't know how many games. It must be pushing close to 50. I thought the weekend was an exceptional performance from him. Probably the best he's been in the last 5 games. Obviously, he got his goal, but I thought his overall performance, his work rate, his commitment, it was exceptional. So I'm sure tomorrow evening, that will be no different.
And just a final one on him. Does this make it such a difficult situation for the club? Because length of contract and the strike, he's at a peak age, scoring the goals, playing so well, as you've said. Is that what makes this a really awkward, difficult situation for the club?
No, I mean, I don't think anything's awkward because there's always speculation around the best players. Like I said, I'm sure there's been a lot of speculation in the last 3 or 4 weeks about the new manager coming in, all of these question marks, which is normal. When you're at a big club, that's normal. So our focus, and like I said, I've said it all along, it's on the next game. My mind hasn't deviated from that. I'm sure Harry's hasn't. I'm sure the rest of the group, every individual, their mind hasn't deviated from that. So we'll have to be ready tomorrow to compete and hopefully get 3 points.
And just a final one on team news. Have you any players back? Anyone out of the match?
No, Ben's still out. Serge has returned to training. There's a couple of question marks from the game at the weekend as well. So we're just going to have to assess them in the morning and see how they're feeling.
Thank you, Paul. Go to Ian Abrahams.
Just pause that a sec. Hey, cheeky from Sky Sports, I feel, to like create all these stories and then like say Kane is asked to leave when he hasn't asked to leave, and then all of a sudden put that on Mason saying, ask him, with the situation happening in the last 24 hours, like, has it affected Kane and all, or have you spoken to Kane? It's like, you created the story. What do you mean of the situation in the last 24 hours? It's all your own making. Like, you're asking the question. It's classic. It's media 101, but it's a bit cheeky.
They created the story of him actually asking to leave, but I think it's quite evident that he does want to leave.
Yeah, but that's been known for a while, ever since he gave that interview in England, when he was on England duty not long ago, saying, he wants to compete for the biggest trophies and we're not doing that. Like, he said it loud and clear, I want to leave. Like, it's no secret. So this whole story and everything has just been created from Sky Sports. It was just Peter Rabbit saying CK66 created the story.
Exactly, bloody CK66.
And that's probably
Charlie Kane.
There might be some truth to that.
I think there's massive truth to that.
Because that's what they quoted in the article, CK66, which is the people who represent him. But just it's no secret though that he wants to leave. But I don't know. I don't think it's like anything specific to what has happened in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Hi Ryan, how are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Harry's a club legend. How do you think the fans are going to take to this tomorrow? What do you think their reaction will be?
Yeah, they'll love seeing him play. He loves the club. He's been at the club from a very young age. He's come through the system. So I'm sure the fans are excited to be there tomorrow, the lucky ones that are, and to see Harry playing as well.
Do you think they'll give him a great send-off?
A send-off?
Well, I mean, if tomorrow is likely to be his last game, do you think that they'll, at the end, they'll give him
we've got a game at the weekend as well. So Harry's definitely going to be involved in them. I can't, like I say all along, I can't speak about next season, whether that's a manager, whether that's a player. What I do know is the fans will get behind us. They're excited for the game tomorrow, along with the players. So we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to a game of football with fans. They're going to make a big difference for us. And like I said, hopefully we can get 3 points.
And just a couple more. Firstly, on Harry, do you understand this decision that he wants to go and win things? He's given so much to Spurs in terms of the goals that he has scored. And after that, if you could just talk about Roy Hodgson for me, because he gave you your England debut. So obviously today is a sad day for him because he's decided that he's effectively retiring. So.
Yes. So in terms of speculation, I can't really have a comment on it because it's all hypothetical and we don't know the outcomes of many things, management, players. So I can't answer questions on that. But what I will answer a question on is Roy. Incredible man, had an incredible career. I'll be forever grateful that he gave me my England cap and it included me in England squads. I'm amazed by the longevity he's had in a game. He obviously has a severe passion for football and it's admirable because at his age to still be occupying at the top level, I think it says a lot about him as a football man.
Okay, thanks, Moose. Appreciate, obviously, I know people are asking a lot of questions about Harry. I think Ryan's made his position quite clear on that now, so I'd appreciate if we can move along from that. George, have you got anything else?
Sorry, just one more on Harry, if that's okay. Ryan, can you just confirm, has he asked to leave, yes or no?
No, not that I'm aware of. Like I say, I don't... All this speculation, I'm not sure. Like I say, the conversations I've had with H have been about the game the other day and then also preparing for the game tomorrow. So, I don't know.
Thanks, George. Go Rally Gold.
Hi there, Ryan. Can I ask about Gareth Bale, different player for you? Is he fit enough to start again so quickly after playing the weekend, obviously, with his history and his body and all that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Gareth was probably the best I've seen him all season at the weekend. He was sharp. He was running at players. He's got that confidence back of playing in repetitive games in the Premier League and he feels confident in his body. He also knows his body. So he's a question mark for tomorrow. We're not sure whether or not he's going to be ready. I think it's down to the player. He's experienced enough. We'll see. And like it was with Serge, if a player doesn't feel 100%, then I don't feel confident in playing someone. We've got enough players that are ready, enough players that are competing, that want to play. If a player doesn't feel 100% and we feel it's not right, then these players won't play.
And there's likely to be more fans making their opinions known tomorrow, potentially outside, maybe inside, because they've been allowed in as well, obviously. What would you say to those fans ahead of the game?
I would say to come and enjoy the match, enjoy supporting the team like they always do. I know they will. I'll be honest, I think the lucky ones that are coming in the stadium, they'll be behind the team. I know they're going to be behind the team. That's an absolute fact. So I'm not worried. I feel confident they're going to help the team. The atmosphere will be amazing and we're looking forward to it.
Okay, Jerry Cox to finish.
Hi, Ryan. You okay?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. You must be looking at, I'm guessing you're looking at the Chelsea-Leicester game tonight, hoping for a Leicester win, because it keeps Tottenham in with a slim chance of the Champions League. What are your thoughts on European football? It's obviously important for a club, isn't it, I suppose?
Yes, I've said all along. We want Champions League football. Obviously, the season hasn't gone how we would have liked as a whole. But we have two big games now that are important for us to see where we are and where we finish up next season and what competitions we're playing in next season. But regardless of what happens next season, whatever competition we're in, we're going to be 100% committed to it. And hopefully next season will be a better one than this one as a whole.
So really groundbreaking press conference there. Really a lot of snippets there where we can react to.
Classic. That was brilliant when he goes and the press officer's like, all right, look, you've asked like 10 questions on Harry and like, can we move on to the next one? One more on Harry. One more on Harry. Can we just sneak one more in there? But he was obviously never going to say anything, was he, Ryan?
Exactly.
Mason?
So why do they keep battering him with questions?
Look, he's always going to deflect any question that comes along. And the only thing he did say is, when asked has Harry Kane handed a transfer request, he said, not that I'm aware of. So that's the only, what more could he say? Like whether he has or he hasn't, he says not to my knowledge.
Look, it is what it is. He's never going to be able to say anything to us concrete in a press conference like that. So I think what we should do is just get some guests on, because these press conferences just doing my head in. These Ryan Mason press conferences, they're so boring.
It's all about the next game, though.
It's
just
so
all about
boring.
the next game.
But let me just let you know that the link is in your community section right now. If you do want to come on and have a chat with us about anything regarding Tottenham, the Villa game tomorrow, the supposed demonstration tomorrow, and obviously anything regarding Harry Kane as well. So look, let's get Brian on. Yes, Brian. How's it going, mate?
Hello, boys. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Another day, another shambles at the club. So, yeah. Do you know what? I've just watched that press conference. I watched it live before when you posted it, and I heard it with words. And I just watched it in the back end with no sound. And this version was a lot better.
Why am I not surprised, Brian?
Do you know the worst thing about it, Ben? I was saying to Sim before we came on. Ryan Mason has been so told what to do and what to say that when one of the people in the press say, Harry Kane, is this Harry Kane's goodbye in a Spurs shirt? He gets to say goodbye to the fans. They're like, well, no, he gets to play again at Leicester, where we'll have no fan. They can't even see that it's his last potential game at home, and we're just we're an embarrassment.
Do you think it's a bit cheeky though to start talking of send-offs when at the moment we don't know whether he's going to leave or not. Obviously he wants to leave, but Zaha wanted to leave Palace last summer. He pushed for it but couldn't get his move, and he was at Crystal Palace. So whether Kane gets his move is another question, isn't it?
It is. But if you look at Zaha and Kane, Zaha, Crystal Palace wanted ridiculous money for, and of course they did, to try and price it out of the market. The thing is, when Harry Kane comes on the market, there will be a few takers that will put in the big bids. So, he's gone. He is gone.
No chance of one more season, Brian?
Not a chance. No.
How much do you reckon we get for him?
150 mil, hopefully. But look who we've got dealing with it. Look at it's Abramovich will come up with the money if need be. I don't think, like I was just saying as well to Tim before you came on, Ben. I don't think Harry Kane personally wants to go to Chelsea. But if Chelsea, if Levy says it's 150 or whatever he says, and Roman Abramovich goes, there you go, there's all the money, he's going to allow him to talk to him.
I'm not, to be honest, I don't think he would. I think that Spurs and Chelsea, I don't know if we do business together. And there was always that famous thing that Abramovich doesn't want to do business with Levy anymore. For me personally, I think the option is Man City. And I don't see why he wouldn't go. Man City's guaranteed success, isn't it?
Yep. Not only is he guaranteed success, I've been saying this the whole time, at least when he's there, they've got Jesus and whoever they may bring in. So Harry Kane can have a rest when he needs to. We've been crying out for years, we need a second striker, not just for when he's injured, but to give him a rest in games that he shouldn't be appearing. And for years, we just haven't done that.
Yeah,
we just haven't done it.
Completely agree. And it just makes complete sense, the Man City deal, because Aguero's on his way out this summer. They need a talisman or a striker to replace him. They got Jesus, like you said, who can come in and like give him a rest when need be. I think it just makes sense him to go to Man City. It really does.
Yep, and he'll be, if he goes there, he'll be at Ronaldo and Messi scoring numbers in a season.
Yeah.
Brian,
you'll be getting 50.
Do you reckon there's a chance we if Kane leaves, we push Son a bit further forward and maybe go for like Grealish on the left-hand side?
Well, you got to look at it. Whichever way will save him spending money.
Yeah.
Or he'll say, Dave Scarlett, you're ready. There you go. You're 17 years old. You're our new striker. We did it once with Harry Kane. Now you do it.
Parrott and Scarlett are getting an immediate upgrade.
Yeah, let's go 4-4-2. I mean, how this is all getting done, and apparently the rumours that we're starting to look for a replacement, we don't even know who the new manager is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why start looking for this new manager, new striker to replace him, when you have no idea who the manager is?
And that's probably part of Kane's thinking as well. You know, we have no manager right now, so what's there to stay for? Do you reckon if we do say sign and we get an ambitious coach in there and he has a word with Kane, there's any chance maybe he can convince him?
So the manager needs to be absolutely on the money, because if you look at it, during Kane's time, how many broken promises has he seen? How many times have we told, yes, we're going to do this, yes, we're going to do that, and then it don't happen? So we would need like a huge manager to come in, get told there's money, start spending it quick to show that this is happening, and then maybe. But then you look at it, if he goes for another season and we don't win anything, that's another season that he's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And winning Europa League next season probably isn't enough for him at this point, given how many years he's given to the club. He needs to be challenging at the top level, Champions League.
Sim's
Premier
choking
League.
up at the thought of Kane leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can see. I feel your pain. But yeah, this is the thing. At the moment, we can't even guarantee him Europa League. It could be the conference.
Yeah.
We can't sit down right now and say, yeah, we're in Europa League. So right now, there's not. If you look at it and you're Harry Kane, there's not one thing a manager, a chairman, or anyone can say that is actually factual that we can do to keep him, apart from say we're in a mess. Off you go, son. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's really sad times at the moment if Harry Kane is going to leave this summer, but we do have a game to play tomorrow against Aston Villa. Are you up for this game at all?
I'm up for the reaction and seeing what happens during the game and see how it goes. And I'm also going to keep an eye on how many people get food poisoning with Levy giving free expired products. So we'll have a look into that. I mean, if you know what, after the supporters trust said they were going to have that meeting today and we'll see what happens, that cut deep with a lot of Spurs fans going, here you go, you've backed down already, here we go, let's see what happens. And then this Harry Kane news breaks. I'm just hoping Wednesday the great guys like yourself, Stelios, and all the others that are going down to stand outside the pitch can have a huge impact on what's going on inside the pitch. And let's just hope that's all I care about. Like I've been saying for ages, I don't care what's going on the pitch anymore. I care about what we do off it. Because it's the same nonsense every single season.
All right, finally, let me get a score prediction from you. for tomorrow?
I want to say 3-0 with a Harry Kane hat-trick just to rub salt in the wounds to Levy. But it'll probably be 2-2.
2-2. Desmond, you're going for?
Yep.
All right. Big up yourself, Brian. Thanks a lot for coming on, as always.
No worries. I'm just gonna end with my trademark song that I have to do. I have to keep it going. Na 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 na. We want Edith out. Edith out. We want Edith out. There we go. Come on, boys. We've got all the best luck for tomorrow.
Come on, Brian. Come on.
See you later, boys.
See you later,
Bye-bye.
man.
Always great to get Brian on.
Always great to get Brian on. Who have we got next? We got Jamie. Yes, Jamie. How's it going?
Jamie.
How's it going, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad, guys. Well, again, another disappointing day.
Yeah.
But, it's getting like the norm now with Tottenham.
I know. It's like every time some disappointing news comes, you're like, all right, surely this is going to be the last of it. And then something else is round the corner. Something else is round the corner. I fear what's round the corner because I kind of think I know what's round the corner, and it's probably something to do with Heung-min Son. But let's not think about it. That's a problem for another day. But in terms of Harry Kane, what's your thoughts about the whole situation at the moment?
Yeah, I think I touched on it last time. When obviously he was saying about leaving, I really thought at that stage that he would want a reaction from Levy, a bit like what Brian was saying, like because if he doesn't make the noises, then Levy's not going to change anything, because he'll get too comfortable and he'll be the same old story because he relies on his big players and he'll just rely on people that he got a bit lucky with, like Dele Alli, which came through at the time. So, he still thinks he's got a good squad. He'd rather just pay him more wages, but not actually invest in the team.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been crying out for years. It's like, it's going to be a time, where Kane, even he's going to be getting older, and you need to invest big. And I think Kane's just putting that last push, because I still have a feeling that he could stay, more on his side rather than Levy, because I think if we get the right money, I think Levy will allow him to go. But I just think Harry Kane's just putting that last push, like to say, look, I want to go, but what can you offer? Are you ever going to change, like, your process, your tactics? And this will be Levy's last chance to say, look, with everything that's been happening, like, wipe the slate clean, because obviously everyone wants seen it out. But if they may not be going anywhere for a long time, so he could, rebuild the bridges. He could say, "Look, okay, sit down. We want you to stay. I promise. We put the investment. We'll get the players. Anything to make you stay." That would be his only option now. Or he could come to an agreement. He can say, "Look, if you don't believe me, I'll promise in January I'll let you go," or something like that.
Well,
So
apparently there's already been a gentleman's agreement from last summer. Apparently Kane wanted to leave last summer and Levy convinced him to stay another year.
I think
so if that's true, doesn't he have the right to demand to leave right now?
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. For me, he should go, because he's given us a great service, and no one would be upset like in terms of him leaving, like by his choice. But I think the whole Mourinho thing, I think he was like, give it a go. But the problem wasn't Mourinho as such. The problem is investment. It's like, who are the players coming in? It's no good saying, okay, yeah, we'll bring in Mourinho. We had Pochettino. If they're not playing for him, and regarded as one of the best managers, what do you think Mourinho's going to do? Because these group of players, they don't respond well to people telling them off. Tottenham's seen as like a holiday camp, I think, for half these players, and that's why half of them stay, because they stay so long because they know they've got it good there.
They're too comfortable.
Exactly, yeah, very comfortable. And if they go somewhere else, who's going to pay those wages for these players? No one. And I never question, their ability, because at times you've seen it. But their work commitment and, keeping that going all season, it has not been there. And it's been fading for years, and they've got too comfortable. and those players will put up with it. But Harry Kane, rightly so, who's carried the team at times, will not put up with that. And that's why he's saying, where's the investment? He's basically saying, where are we going to be? Are we going to be winning trophies? He knows he's not going to get that with the same team. Maybe under Mourinho, because he said he backed his style, so he gave it a go. So he thought, okay, if we all get behind the ball, maybe this could get us something, which it worked for till Christmas. But he's also going to be looking, look, where's the investment? Where are the players coming through? Where's the money being spent? I know they brought a stadium, but still, we need to go to that next level. And rightly so, we've been going backwards. And this is the time where I think he felt he would be finally winning major trophies, at his peak right now. And unfortunately, it hasn't happened. And I don't blame him, But Levy could say, maybe, okay, I'll promise, but it's his last roll of the dice, otherwise he's gone.
And you said for the right money, you think Levy accepts the deal. 2 questions. First of all, what is the right money? And second of all, who's your number one choice to replace him? Realistic choice.
On the money side, I think you're looking at least, 100, 120 million. I don't think teams are going to pay more than that for him. Maybe wrong, but I think that's probably realistic. And I think they would, in this current stage and the situation that they've gotten themselves into, I think Levy would accept that. He doesn't have to, obviously, but if you wait another season and he doesn't change, anything, the direction of the club, he's just going to lose money on Kane. He's going to gamble. So, but I think he would accept it. But then again, how would he invest that money? If he's going to do it like how he did it with Bale, then there's no point. You can't just bring in people for the sake of it. So, it all depends. Levy, he's so tight. So I think he could accept it. But I think it's all down now to his ambition. Because now I think Levy must be thinking, he must admit to his mistakes. He can't be that stubborn. He must be thinking, okay, actually, we are going backwards here. He can't just keep trying to do quick fixes. So he needs to go in a new direction. Hopefully, I've always said I've never seen Levy or Enoch do that before, and they haven't. But it's got to that stage now where I think because we're not making Champions League, before we was, so they were like, oh, okay, let's see how it goes next season, but we're not doing that now. And now Levy will be looking at the figures and think, hang on a minute, maybe I should change tactics.
I would have thought he would have seen that a few years back, but anyway.
But yeah, that's the trouble, because with Levy, if he can get away with it, he will. Harry Kane came through the ranks. Dele Alli, he wasn't at the time pictured to do so well. So instead of buying the players, he got lucky and thought, oh, I've got a couple of stars here, invest a little bit. And he rode his luck, and it showed, because we didn't sign anyone for 2 seasons. And he pushed his luck all the way, and now it's coming back to haunt him. And with the manager, I don't know, it's very difficult. I think Graham Potter would be my choice, realistic. Although I know they're saying they want someone who's actually won something recently, so that may not put him in the spotlight. But
he won a cup in Sweden for Östersunds.
Yeah, yeah, a bit like the Audi Cup. So yeah,
probably a bit less than the Audi Cup, to be fair. But Jamie, on the game tomorrow against Aston Villa, are you looking forward to it? Are you expecting good performance?
Yes, I am actually. I still feel we'll put a good performance. It's going to be a bit weird, but I still, even before the news broke, I still feel we were going to put out a good performance. I think Bale's probably going to do really well, and with the fans there, so I think we'll win the game. Yeah, I think we'll play well. I think we'll finish the season off okay, but obviously it's still not good enough overall.
And we're going to end, not end tomorrow's Hope of St Totteringham's Day once again for a 5th year straight.
Yeah, exactly. It's happening again, but obviously to Arsenal now. So.
What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
I think there'll be plenty of goals. I'm going for a 3-2 win, actually.
All right.
3-2.
Yeah. Harry for a hat-trick from his last home game.
Yeah, hopefully. I've actually captained Bale in my fantasy team this week.
Bale. Will Mason say he might not play? I don't know if you heard.
Oh, no, I didn't see it. So good thing you told me.
Quickly change your captain.
Yeah. Maybe go for a little switcheroo, I think.
To be honest, now he said that, he's probably going to play and score another hat-trick.
Yeah. It'll be typical Tottenham. Yeah. Unpredictable.
All right. Jamie, absolute pleasure as always, mate. Good to see you, and hopefully speak to you tomorrow after 3 points.
Yes, we'll do. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
Cheers, mate.
Jamie. Speak to you in a bit.
That was Jamie. If you do want us to react to any of your comments, do send in a super chat or send us in a tweet, and we will react to it as we go. Jory, the Joracle is back with us again today. The Joracle is back. How you doing, Jory?
I'm good, guys. I'm glad to be back.
We're glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Now we're awaiting your present, Jory. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You haven't got it yet?
No, I don't think so. I haven't got it yet.
Okay. It must be tomorrow or the next, at least. So you'll have a let's think of it as my trophy to you guys for your work. So,
I hope it's not going to be too hot.
No, it will be cooled down by now. I think so.
Jory, I want your expert analysis on the situation, or the Harry Kane situation. Oh, it's clear to everyone he wants to leave, but I want to know from your opinion: has he put in a transfer request? Will he force through a move? And do you think he will get his move this summer?
Actually, I want to ask you guys first. Where did this round of the news now? Where did it start? Where did
Sky Sports, I believe.
Okay, and did they mention any source or?
Well, they did. They said that CK66, which is his brother and his agent, basically, they said that Chelsea, Man City, and Man United have already been in contact with them. They said they claim that.
Yeah. I mean, I like you guys know, I was convinced. At the start of the winter crisis that Kane had probably already done like the groundwork for his move, and the way I see it, I really the options that are mentioned there is probably like simply to make us the fans aware of who's willing to put up money, but also to put pressure on Levy. I think I can imagine that Levy is not too happy about losing him right now. But also, I think that I'm convinced that he's going to Man City, and I've been for a long time. For me, it's such a no-brainer, and I actually I got my respect for Pep grew enormously this season. I kind of thought he was a little bit overrated till this season, but this season I think he proved to everybody that he's the real deal. And I think if you look at that squad and Pep Guardiola and that institution now, it's perfect for Kane. There's really nothing that Kane wouldn't like about that, other than it maybe not being Tottenham. Of course, he would have wished it to be Tottenham and not Manchester. But I think that's going to mean basically that the league is going to be sealed for at least 2 seasons, if not 3 seasons. I can't even see whatever Liverpool and Man United try to do. I can't see them coming close to Man City if they all go that way.
And who would you like to see replace Kane if he does go? And how much do you think we'll get for him?
Yeah, well, replacing the unreplaceable, that's kind of a problem. I would say it like this. I don't think, like, there's so many things. We're kind of in a breakdown mode anyway right now. So I think it's good for Kane to go. We all kind of wish the best for him. He's really done his duty and beyond that. And we'll get good money for him now, because I think we'll get the homegrown bonus. And that money can go a long way now, because there's so many clubs in trouble. So, if we had great recruitment, which we don't, then we could actually make something, so a good start on a new project. But are we getting a project manager? Are we getting any kind of substantive change from the board and from the owners? I really don't think so. I hope so. I mean, I don't think like the board representation, fan representation. I think that's, at least for now, a gesture to calm things down. How big is the board, guys? Do you know how many voting members are on the board?
I think there's around 4 or 5, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay, I thought it was more like a 10-man board.
I'm not sure. You might be right. You might be right, but that's just the number I have in my head for some reason.
Yeah, I'm just speculating, but I would say if it's a 5-man board, then yes, then there's a little bit of substance in giving a fan representation with voting rights. But if it's 10, then it's easy to manage. I've run a couple of companies in my time, and you can do these gestures to appear to be doing something really big and meaningful, but actually it's easy to manage if you want to. But yeah, I don't know. I think also, like, we can see it with Barcelona and stuff like that, that having an absolutely amazing player like we've had, it can be a mixed blessing as well. It like, we've seen our board and owners rest on their laurels. We've seen lousy recruitment get away with looking better than they should look, really. So yeah, it's kind of the I've been since the Mourinho basically firing, and before that as well. I've been a little bit, this is an alcoholic that needs to reach rock bottom before we can, push the bottom and start moving upwards. So, but then again, I don't want to spend the next 2 years just, on depressive structural issues. I also want to see some good football. So,
well, in that case, are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Actually, I think tomorrow could be a screamer of a game, and I think, like, for me, as much of a kind of a safe thing for Levy that Mason is, I'm really happy with seeing how, at least, there's a little bit of joy back in the squad, and like Daly, for example, even though I think maybe too much is being done of how good he was. For me, the most important thing with Daly last game was how active he was and how involved he was, and how he actually kind of took a little bit responsibility for the game, which we haven't seen a lot of. So that was happy, I'm not one to fall over by his nutmegs and this stuff. They can annoy me as much as I can appreciate them as well.
Jory, you gotta love a deli nutmeg. Come on.
Well, I love them when they work. But how about those 10 that didn't go through? So
I don't know if you saw, Jory, but the Tottenham Instagram account, I don't know if they did it on other platforms, but they did a montage of a lot of Dele Alli's nutmegs. It was great watch.
It was amazing. I mean, he's done some amazing ones. And like, I'm happy for Dele, because Dele is a great player and he's a good boy. And we all know that he's been having a hard time. So whether Dele stays or goes, I'm just happy that he can at least enjoy a couple of games here. And like I said, I think Mason is maybe not overcomplicating things. He's basically trying to get them in a good mood and tell them to go out and play football, and they will find their natural kind of setup and style of playing themselves, I think. But I mean, we need a huge rebuild for our defense and all of this, which we've talked so many times about. So.
What's your score prediction for the game tomorrow, Jory?
Let's just say, I can see like 4-2.
4-2 Spurs.
4-2.
Yeah. And is this going to be Harry Kane's last home appearance for Tottenham Hotspur?
It's pretty likely, I think. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You never know if something comes up. Like at least, let's say, I hope so. If because the only other way he's staying is if Levy kind of does a Levy thing, and I don't want that. If Harry really wants to go, we should let him go, and we should make a good deal for the club, and we should line up our new rebuild basically, and just go about it the right way instead of this endless Levy crap that we're always dealing with. So.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's going to happen though. It's going to rumble on till the last day of the window, don't you?
Yeah, and that's what I can't. And then we've pissed off our 8 targets all over Europe, and we'll have to go for second on the list or third on the list, and
fourth on the list probably.
Yeah.
Not even fourth on the list. We're going to have to go with Dane Scarlett and Troy Parrott.
We're going to end up with some fun, I think.
But at least if that was down to their credit, at least that's a good academy that's bringing good players up. I think it's to be honest, I think it's more to do also with the Tottenham heritage. Who doesn't want to go to a Tottenham academy? It's one of the greatest historic clubs in the world. So of course, if you're 14 years old and you get offered to go to the academy, it's a no-brainer. So I think that's more to do with the brand. And we are the brand, guys, not Levy, not Enoch, nobody else. It's us, the fans, that support this club. So
brilliant, cool as always, Jory. Great to have you back on the channel, and hopefully we'll speak to you. Great to see you as well.
I was pretty busy. I've been filming a lot, guys. That's the only reason you don't hear from me. Otherwise, I would never forget about you guys. So
never forget about you either, Jory. It's good to have you back.
Jory, it's good to have you back, and hopefully we get to speak to you after 3 points tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll try and call in. Take care, guys.
See you, Jory.
See you, Jory.
On your Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Some people suggesting we loan Kane out to City for a year, let him win a few trophies, and bring him back as a trophy winner. And that's it. He's done. He's won the trophies.
Give him. You know what? You may as well just give him a nice long 2-year loan.
Give him a 2-year loan. Win for to your heart's content, and come back to Spurs.
How much is that loan going to cost Man City?
Like 50 million, probably.
A year.
Yeah, 25 million a year, I reckon. And then all right, go win your trophies and come back to us.
Yeah, I mean, I'd up for that.
I'll be up for that. Why not?
Maybe we can they can give us Gabriel Jesus on a 2-year loan in
exactly a little loan deal, and there we go. Maybe that can be the best.
Maybe we could do a deal with Raheem Sterling or something. He's our favourite Man City at the moment.
Raheem Sterling, yeah, right. No, it's like they have to do like everyone puts a straw in. Whoever gets a short straw has to play Europa League for the next 2 years.
Conference League, you mean?
Brilliant.
Yeah, anyway, Bob Spur TV. Let's be having you. Let's be having you.
How you doing?
Yes, Bob, I'm good. How you doing, mate?
We've kind of done that with Poch, haven't we? We sent him out on loan at PSG for a couple of seasons, let him win a couple of trophies and come back. So I suppose we could do it. We can.
Exactly. Would you think that's the best way to go about things? I think it's a perfect way, to be honest.
Yeah, I do. No, it's unfortunate, isn't it? It's come to us losing Kane. It was always inevitable if we weren't going to win anything.
Yeah.
It's becoming reality. What concerns me, though, if a conversation from sounds of it, if it's true, he's gone to Levy for a bit of assurances, and he's not heard. He's not liked what he's heard. It doesn't really fill me with great excitement for next season. If he's not like what he's heard, I'm sure we won't like what we're going to see.
They're saying on BBC Sport that Spurs are pleading with Kane.
Pleading, they're on their hands and knees.
They want him to be the
So
new. They want him to be the new Totti. I was saying that it's more like Matt Letizia because at least Totti won some trophies. But what do you think? Like, is there any chance, if we do hire a coach, an ambitious coach who maybe has a word with Kane and says, "Look, this is my vision," and maybe it can convince him. But the longer we don't have a coach, like, why stay when there's absolutely no direction in this club at the moment?
Exactly, and that was it. It's totally irrelevant. I know. There's a conversation to be had. Of course, there is with regards to which manager and which players. But we have to stand back and look at the bigger picture. It's totally irrelevant which manager will bring when there's no direction from the top. Even a manager wants to see some form of direction. A Klopp will know what direction Liverpool want to go in because they give him a Van Dijk or they give him an Alisson. Man City, you go in, money spent. They know what direction they're going to go to. Same with Chelsea. With us, we just don't know. And if the manager doesn't know which direction to take, if he's at a loss, then that's going to filter down to the players as well and the fans. So I don't know if Kane's actually gone in there and said, right, where do you want to go? Never mind where I want to go. What about the board? Which direction you guys are taking? And like I say, it is to an extent kind of irrelevant until we've got a structure in place right from the top. That worries me. The fact that Kane, he's got every right to go up to Levy and ask what the situation is, what the options are with regards to progress, and it's not like what he's heard, and he wants to go, and that really worries me.
Bob, got a super chat here from Scorpions Fan for Life, and he says, Sheringham left Spurs to win the league and later returned. Maybe history repeating itself if he leaves, but I don't blame him. What'd you say to that? Could he be another Teddy?
I don't want another Teddy. I don't want him to go. Teddy went, and again, it was we don't have that. We didn't have that loyalty, not that love for Teddy Sheringham that we've got for Harry. He's one of our own. We've seen him grow from a child into a international superstar. So yeah, Teddy went. There was a lot of anger there. With Harry, there's not going to be any anger there. There's going to be pure sadness. So no, I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go and come back in a couple of years. I want him to go abroad. I want him to go to China because I don't see any games from China. I don't want to be watching Match of the Day every week and see him scoring hat-trick for Man City, which I think he'll go the place he'll go to. I don't want to in the nicest possible way. If he leaves, I hope I don't see him. I hope I don't know. I don't want to see how he's getting on or anything like that. It's like the ex doing really well without you.
You just know, Bob, as well. If he does join a club in England, he's going to have like the most amazing record against Spurs.
Of course, mate.
Like he will score at least a brace every time he faces us.
Absolutely, we're talking Messi, Ronaldo figures, aren't we, mate?
100%.
We are. He will be. We'll be breaking Clive Allen's records and all sorts for the top division goal scores, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's hitting 40.
In that Man City team, he is literally going to break every single kind of record that there is to break in the Premier League. Literally,
I think
he'll break probably most goals in games, most goals in a season, most goals in a calendar year, most goals against a certain team. You know what I mean? He's going to probably win the Golden Boot at Man City with the most goals ever. I mean, easy as well.
Easy, and the team I think will be winning everything in sight as well. You can write off the Premier League for the next 2 or 3 seasons. So, it's just really unfortunate. I was expecting a couple of statements today, really. One, I was really hoping we get a yay or a nay from Harry Kane or his representatives, just so we know. I don't want to be spending the rest of the season, worrying or wondering if he's staying or going. I just want to know definitively, because if he is definitely going, we need to give him a massive send off on Wednesday. And
you won't know, Bob. You're not going to know.
No, I know, mate. I know. It's asking for a lot. Have we heard anything from the trust today, or?
Oh, in terms of their meeting with the board?
Yeah, they're having a meeting today. Remember? Yeah, they're having a meeting today, weren't they?
I'm not sure what time they're having that meeting, but haven't heard any updates yet from them. But I'm sure we'll be reporting on it as soon as we hear anything.
Because I'm sure that will be part of the questioning, won't it, with regards to go?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be, but I'm sure they won't give much away anyway.
No.
But in terms of the game tomorrow, are you expecting a big performance from the boys?
I don't know. I've said this. I hate saying it, mate. I'm not. I can't get up for the games right now. Everything's just such a mess. I'm delusional. I just feel downhearted. I feel there's no tunnel. Never mind light at the end of the tunnel. It's all up in the air. You know, everything's best way to. I think Bob Spur Jr. said to me this morning. Goes, Dad, everything's a bit. It's a new word he's learned. He goes, everything's a bit skew-whiff, isn't it? I'm like, yeah. I suppose, yeah. Best way to explain the situation at Spurs right now. Everything is skew-whiff. So, yeah, no, mate. It'd be great. Obviously, I'll be watching it, of course. But the protest. I don't know if there is a protest.
There's some sort of thing happening outside with the Supporters Trust. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they stated they're going to have a presence, aren't they? They didn't mention the word protest, so we'll see. We'll see, but. I don't know, and I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Score prediction at least?
14-7 with Harry Kane getting forward. 2-1, mate.
2-1 Spurs.
Yeah, 3-1 with Harry Kane to get a hat trick.
Come on.
Last ever performance at for Spurs at home. So
you're going to make me cry, Bob. You're going to make me cry,
mate. It's an acceptance that we can see we eventually would have had to accept, but when it becomes reality, and the anger that we've had for or the dislike we've had towards ENIC and Levy has reached tipping point with the ESL, and it's hard to dislike him anymore. So with Kane going, it's pure sadness. There's no more anger to give. There's no more dislike of Levy and ENIC to spare him. It's because it's up there. So with Kane, mate, for me, it's all sadness. But at the same time, he thoroughly deserves it. My word, he deserves it. He'll go 100%. With a full blessing. And of course, I'm saying I don't want to see him again. I want to be seeing him racking it in and winning quadruples on every season. Of course I do, mate. You know, he's a legend. Yeah.
And I tell you what, Bob, no matter what happens, no matter what he says, no matter what happens, is when he comes back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, he is going to get the biggest applause, no matter what kit he's in. 100%. Apart from if he's in a Chelsea shirt, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, I can't see that happening, can you?
No, I can't either.
No chance.
All right, Bob. Absolute pleasure as always, mate. And we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys. Come on, Spurs.
Come on, Spurs.
Oh, all right.
Got any tweets to react to?
We've got Nigel Gates who says, hiring a new manager without Kane makes the job tougher. You think Martinez or another big name is going to come to a no-star team?
I mean, I don't even want Martinez anyway.
I was there, Martinez, he's not a big name, is he?
Manager of Belgium is fairly big.
Yeah, so is Southgate a big name? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, Belgium are a lot bigger than England, in my opinion.
Are they?
In terms of the personnel I think they got.
Why?
First of all, number one in the world. They've got players like Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku.
We got Kane, Sterling.
Sterling's had a shit year.
Doesn't matter. Still a big player. No, they're not like a bigger team. They're not bigger team than England.
Well, what happened when they played in the World Cup? Twice.
Both meaningless games.
Yeah, but we would never beat Belgium. Never. Belgium are much better than England.
They might be better. I'm talking about bigger.
Well, how'd you gauge that? Who's
as
a bigger country?
As a national team, like Belgium are not bigger. Like England, I don't know. It depends how you define big, but like in terms of like footballing history and stuff like that, I don't think you can say Belgium are bigger than England.
Well, when's the last international tournament then we've gone farther than Belgium in?
We both got to the semis at the World Cup, didn't we?
Mm. So when's the last time we've got further than them?
Probably recently.
When?
I don't know. I can't off the top of my head, but Belgium have not been good up until very recently.
Up until the last 15 years, yeah.
No, not a lot sooner than that. Not 15.
Either way, you can say that, but, you know, it's a similar comparison to, like, Manchester United and Man City, you know? Similar comparison.
I don't know.
Belgium are number one in the world rankings.
England have been number one in various points as well.
Yeah.
So, doesn't like it.
I think Belgium are always a letdown as well. Yeah. But England are just even a 10 times more of a letdown than Belgium are.
Belgium, but look, but I'm not saying Belgium are bad or anything. I'm just saying, like, being manager of Belgium is not a bigger job than being manager of England.
Do you not think so?
No, definitely not.
I think you're only saying that just because you're English.
No, definitely not. I don't think the world sees it that way at all.
I think they would.
I don't think they would.
Anyway, let's see what the Irish Hotspur has to say, because he is Irish. He's not English. Let's see what he has to say. What's a bigger job, the Belgian manager or the English manager?
English manager, 100%. The Belgian manager, they're allowed to do what they do. English manager is under so much pressure from the nation and from the press. English manager is always going to be one of the biggest jobs in international football. As much as it kills me to say, it's true.
Is that just hyped up from the British press, though?
No, look, going into competitions, everyone always looks at England as going into the later stages.
Mm-hmm.
That's only happened to Belgium recently. Before that, Belgium were kind of really a nobody.
Yeah.
That's my point.
True. It's true. Yeah, you're right in terms of the bigger picture and the bigger history of the two nations, but I think right now Belgium are probably the bigger nation as it stands.
Yeah, but I looked at Roberto Martinez's squad selection. It's not great, you know.
Is it not? I haven't seen the selection, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I've seen. Well, I don't know whether it is the selection or what's rumored to be the selection, but looking at it, I don't really hold out much hope for Belgium going into this.
Really? I bet you they go further than England.
Belgium haven't even qualified for 3 of the last 4 Euros.
Wow.
You know what? As much as it kills me to say, I actually think you could see England in a final, or at least the semis.
Nah, I can't see it. Not with that manager we got.
Yeah, I get it with the manager, but look, you've quality players. That's the thing. There's quality players. Look, if he gets the team selection right, that's the main thing, the team selection. Because with England, they tend over the years, they tend to have picked players that have been injured for a lot of the season and then draft them in and stuff like that. If he nails the team selection, I think he's have a good campaign.
Yeah, maybe, but we're not here to talk about England. That's a story. That's a chat for another day. Give me your thoughts on Harry Kane. What do you think? How do you think this one's going to play out?
Look, it's like a debt in the family. I'm not going to lie. You know, I was absolutely gutted. I was asked to go on streams yesterday, and I just couldn't. I couldn't. You know, Harry Kane is my favourite ever Spurs player. You know, I absolutely adore this man. He's my hero, like many other fans out there. But I don't begrudge him. You know, he's sitting there, he's looking at the situation. He doesn't know what manager's coming in. He doesn't know what players is coming in. So if you're Harry Kane, you're sitting there and you're thinking, do I fancy going through another season with this team? I don't think so. You know, so I don't blame him. I send him on with all my well wishes. But, you know, when are Spurs fans going to learn? When are we going to learn? Honestly, we had a chance to make our voices heard last weekend. You know, put pressure on the board to try and get a bit of change so that something like this wouldn't happen. And we couldn't even be asked to get down there. You know, couldn't even be asked to get down there. So what can we do now? What can we do? Like, and what else pisses me off is I hear a lot of people just accepting it now and just be like, you know, oh, we sell Kane, we can get this much in, we can go and do this, do that. Right? You sell Kane, you're using that money straight away to buy yourself a centre attacking midfielder and a striker of quality to replace him, to replace the goals and assists he gets. That's what you're doing with that money.
You're not using that money to pay the debts of the club?
But that too. But honestly, like, when are we going to learn? We're just accepting it. Like, we have one more chance tomorrow to get down there, to make your voices heard. You know, if the Harry Kane news doesn't push you over the edge, I really don't know what will.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, and it's difficult, especially with, you know, Kane leaving, no Champions League football, no manager at the moment. It's difficult.
But lads, on that,
at all. Yeah, go on.
On the manager, what manager's going to look at this now and say, well, Kane's leaving. What chance do I have to build anything there? I'm not coming in. And not only that, there's a chance Son is going to leave too. Yeah. You know what I mean? The contract still hasn't been signed. So what manager from the outside looking in is going to say, yeah, I'm going to go to Tottenham when there's no Kane and I don't even know what Son's future is and I don't know what Hugo Lloris wants to do? 3 of the main players I'd be looking to build my team around. Why are you as a manager? Why would you go in there?
No,
it's an absolute mess. This club is a shambles.
It's a poison chalice right now.
I told people this is going to happen on this show and on my show for months. You sack Mourinho, Kane's going to. I've stated it so many times.
But do you think that if Mourinho stayed, that this wouldn't play out in the same way?
If Mourinho stayed and was given next season, Kane would have given us one more season, 100%.
I disagree with that. I think that this is Kane's extra season that he already gave us from last season while Mourinho was still manager. So I think regardless, we had a poor season with Jose Mourinho. I think Kane would have been gone anyway, even if Jose stayed this summer.
Yeah, no, look, that's a fair point. But for me, I just think, if Mourinho stayed one more season and, I think Kane would have trusted Mourinho to kind of spend that money on what he needed. And Mourinho would have been able to speak to Kane and probably get one more year out of him. Because you look at the goals and assists return this season, he's got 25 goals and 15 assists, and he's only played 30-something games. So he's actually outscoring and out-assisting the games he's playing. So his numbers have been incredible. They dropped off since Mason left. I know he scored at the weekend, but it's dropped off since Mason left. And I genuinely think on that basis, he probably would have given Mourinho one more year if Mourinho was getting back. But Mourinho's gone anyway.
I know Mourinho's gone. I think there's more chance that Kane would have stayed if Mourinho would have stayed. But I still think if again we would have finished as we're finishing the season now with Mourinho, I still think he probably would have wanted out at this point, Kane. But if there's more chance, I think, of Kane staying if Mourinho had stayed, just because we have a manager at the helm with quality, and we know that he can get. Previously, we know what he's won, so at least he can point to that and say, "Look, give me another year," blah blah blah, and try and convince him. Right now, we don't have a manager, so there's no one to go up to Kane and tell. There's no one saying to Kane, "Look, this is the way forward. This is what we're going to do. I need you to stay. Like if you stay, we're going to do big things." Like we don't have a manager right now, so there's no one trying to convince Kane to stay. So what's there to stay for?
He's probably just as disillusioned with the club as we are. I'm not being funny. How do we know he wasn't hoping that the protest worked out well so that we could get a movement? He's probably disillusioned with that as well. Because Kane could have been looking at the protest and saying, oh, well, they're putting pressure on them. They might be able to force the board to change what they're doing. And that means that, the players can come in and around me. We can get players in and around me, or they can get Enoch gone or whatever. And he might have stayed. But he's just as disillusioned as the club as we are. He's a fan as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough times. It really is tough times. And, every time some bad news happens, we're thinking, all right, that's the bad news. And there's always something else around the corner. And we kind of know what's coming next, don't we, David? We kind of know it's going to be something to do with Heung-min Son, because if Harry Kane does leave this summer, can you really see Heung-min Son staying as well this summer?
No, Son and Kane have this telepathic partnership. It's deadly. It's lethal. Everyone around world football knows it's lethal. In fact, it was that lethal. Leicester, when we played Leicester and we lost them 2-0, they completely abandoned the right side of the pitch and just pressed us on the left so that no creativity could come from there. And that's why they ended up winning that game. But with Son, right, not only that, but he has the whole weight of a nation on his shoulders. They want him to go off and be successful. Over in Korea, they want him to leave. They want him out of Tottenham. They want him to go to a big, massive club where he can win trophies. They rate him better than Park Ji-sung. And Park Ji-sung has a lot more trophies than what Son does. And Son's father as well. I reckon Son's father will be putting pressure on him behind the scenes. Son's father isn't putting all that time and effort into him that he has done for Son to win nothing, is he? Let's be honest. Son's gone. So I think Kane goes, Son's gone.
How much do you reckon we get for Harry?
I wouldn't be selling them for anything less than 150 million, to be honest with you. I really wouldn't. I'd refuse. But look, we are in a position. He is tied down for another 3 years. So we are in a position just to say no. We can't literally just say no. And in a way, take advantage of Kane's good personality and Kane's good nature. Because if he's told no, he's still going to go down there and train and put it in for the next season. He's not going to go and throw a strap. That's not in Kane's nature. So, in a way, this time around, I actually hope that Levy does just say, no, you're not going anywhere. I really do. I really hope that is the case. Look, I know it's going to be a bit bad out on Kane, but I'm sorry. As much as I love Kane, Tottenham is my biggest love. And I want to protect my club at all costs. So for me, if I was Levy, we are in a position where we can just say, no, you're not going anywhere. And that's it. And to be honest with you, that's the route I want us to go down to.
So, wait, David. Even if there is there is perceived gentleman's agreement apparently between Levy and Kane, you would say to Levy, break the gentleman's agreement and keep Kane against his will if that was the case.
Yeah, I would. Look, the guy has had the chances to put players in and around Kane. He's missed out on Grealish. He's missed out on Skriniar, which would have improved the defence this year. Who knows what would have happened? We missed out on a lot of players, right? So now it's about time he just he done something that us fans would probably agree with, and just say to Kane, look, you're not going anywhere. I'm going to make sure you're here for one more year. And then it gives Levy and the board a chance also to put things in place and improve things and try and change Kane's mind over that season.
Yeah, and if we do get 150 million, I know you've said how you want to spend it, but who specifically, realistically, do you reckon we can bring in with that money?
Again, honestly, lads, it depends on the manager. I hate to say it, but it depends on the manager. If you have Ryan Mason in charge, what striker where he's waiting goal is going to come to Tottenham? You know what I mean? This is the problem. And also, we not only that, but we've also had a chance. Kane is, like, over the last 5-6 seasons, to get a youngster into the academy that we think is going to be the next big thing, and have him reaching a stage where, he could be ready to come into the first team right now. We haven't even done that. We failed on that. So this club is just rotten from top to bottom. There's no vision. There's no long-term planning. There's nothing in place. Nothing. Who do I want in? Honestly, the only man that I could see kind of replicating what Kane has done for Tottenham is Haaland, but that's completely unrealistic. Completely unrealistic. He ain't coming to Tottenham. And nor do we want his agent in and around Tottenham either. He's another snake, that guy. But honestly, I don't know who to go and get. I really do not know who to go and get, because we've been so privileged and lucky what we've got from Kane, that no matter who comes in next is going to be deemed a failure. They're never going to live up to the heights, ever.
Would you take a Grealish and a Danny Ings?
Oh, 100% I'd go and get Grealish. Danny Ings, look, for me, Danny Ings, I would have brought him in as a backup to Harry Kane, but as my main man, no, I don't think I'd have Danny Ings as my main man. He does tend to get injured, a couple of months of injury every season. So once he goes, who are you relying on then?
But it's the same with the manager situation. Like, any manager that we bring in now after Pochettino, after Jose Mourinho, is going to be underwhelming. Now, any striker we bring in now after Harry Kane is going to be underwhelming. So, I mean, I don't even know where to go.
I tell you where we go. We get down to that game tomorrow, and we get down in numbers, and we get down and we protest, proper protest. Tell them we've had enough. Make sure they hear us. And, organise one from the Seven Sisters right through up the way through Tottenham to outside the stadium. There's always going to be fans that are going to go to the game. There's probably going to be even more now to see Harry Kane's last home game at Tottenham. But you can definitely use them to help get into the protest. It's our last chance tomorrow to try and save this club, in my opinion. If not, we just reckon
that's why this news has come about, so they get more fans in. They were struggling to sell tickets, so they're getting more fans in to see Harry Kane's last game.
Do you know what? I was only thinking that last night. I was thinking, look, maybe it is that case that they want to get fans into the stadium. It's another little trick of Levy's and whatever else. But I was also thinking maybe Sky Sports are a bit worried because they need big transfer stories this summer, because everyone's going to be off watching the Euros, this, that, and the other. Sky Bet needs customers, people to go in and put money on where Kane's going, this, that, and the other. So there could be that element to it too. But unfortunately, this time round, I'm kind of resigned to believing it, to be honest. I really am.
Yeah, me too, Dave. But on the game tomorrow, is there any are you getting up for this game at all? How you're feeling coming into it?
Yeah, of course I'm getting up for it, lads. It's Tottenham Hotspur at the end of the day. No matter how much they piss me off, of course I'm going to be sitting there watching the game. I love this club. When Tottenham don't play, it's a depressing day. When Tottenham play, I'm smiling and I'm absolutely loving life.
Until 90-minute hits.
David's going to be watching the Chelsea-Leicester game, hoping Leicester win. Look at your outside shot of top 4.
So am I, to be fair.
It's also Harry Kane's last game, so our last home game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, in my opinion. So 100%, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy Harry Kane's hair being perfect. That jersey just molded onto him, and just watching him run around White Hart Lane with the hair flowing through his wind, galloping towards goal and unleashing one into the top corner, and giving Dave Harris, the Irish Hotspur, and Ben and Sim, the WeAreTottenhamTV army, a nice goodbye present.
I tell you what, I'm kind of upset that I'm not going to the game now tomorrow, because if it is Harry Kane's last game, I really do want to see that, because that would have mean the last time I saw Harry Kane live in the flesh would have been that no-show in the cup final. But I'd love to see him bang in a hat-trick in front of my eyes tomorrow night. I really would. It's a shame. It really is a big shame. And him leaving this club is like ripping a massive part of this club, a massive part of out of the heart. You know what I mean? It is to take. But what's your score prediction tomorrow?
I'm gonna go 3-0 Tottenham. If it is Harry Kane's last game, I do believe the rest of the players hopefully will put in a performance to try and get him to win on his last home game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and that's the hope I'm going on.
All right, big up, Dave. Pre-match pump up tomorrow. You want to tell everyone where to go? You know where to go.
Yeah, pre-match pump up. Look, the link will be up in the description about 15 minutes beforehand. It's on WeAreTottenhamTV. What time are we starting at, lads?
We'll start at 4:30.
4:30. No excuses. It's afternoon. I want to see everybody come on the pre-match pump up. Let us know what you think of Harry Kane, what you think of the game, where we go from here. It doesn't just have to be about the match. It can be about Tottenham in general. There's so many names there I want to meet the faces behind. So please come on and support the show. And if not, look, make sure you do at least watch the show, smash a like on it, and get them super chats in with your thoughts. Let's show some support. In fact, let's get the super chats in and give the boys the money to go and get a steak in Tottenham. That's what I say. But anyway, lads, I may go because I'm actually running late for my own show. So I may actually go.
See you later, Dave. Have a good one.
See you tomorrow, boys.
See you
later, mate.
Got a few super chats to go through here. One from Andrew Subash says, what is the state of players' minds once Kane leaves, especially Son? And how hard is it going to be for the next manager?
That's the thing. It's going to be
very,
very,
difficult
very
for the
hard.
next manager. You're right. Players like Ndombele as well, Lo Celso have just joined the club who are on the up, and now we're just going nowhere. I wonder what they're going to be thinking.
Well, when Lo Celso joined the club, we were on the perceived up, but naturally we weren't actually on the up.
Final, though,
yeah, that papered over the cracks. Yeah,
I know it did, but from his point of view, That's
what I'm saying. The perceived up. It wasn't actually an up.
That's Football 1997 says we're winning the league next season. Come on, you Spurs. Skippy LFC.
Come on.
Skippy LFC says you've got the Irish Hotspur on. Hey Dave, big up to you. Oh, we should read that while he was on. That's Football 1997 again. Says Kylian Mbappe is coming to Tottenham next season. And Scorpions fans for life says imagine if we splashed the cash on Haaland. That'd be interesting. Wishful thinking at this stage, but can't think of anyone else. There is zero chance of Haaland coming to Spurs. I can tell you that right now. There is absolutely no chance. You know what another player we might go for? Wilfried Zaha.
Tijand?
Who?
Tijand.
We'll go for exactly his cousin. What about Wilfried Zaha?
What about him?
Do you reckon we go for him?
If it's between him and Jack Grealish, I'd prefer Grealish.
What about both of them?
Both of them? I can't see that happening.
Grealish and Zaha.
Can't see that happening.
Would that be good though? For you, would that be enough?
I don't know. I mean, I know you're completely sold on Zaha, but I don't know.
I love Zaha. I think
I know you do, but I mean, I like him as a player, but I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's top.
I think he needs a big move. I'm telling you right now, if he gets a big move to a club, he'll explode.
If it's between him and Grealish, I'm 100% taking Grealish.
Obviously, I wouldn't Grealish ahead of Zaha because I think he's even that much better. But if we got both as a replacement for Kane,
what, without a striker?
Maybe move Son up front.
I mean, I want a proper striker, man. Someone that can win the balls in the air and that kind of stuff. A big, tall striker. I'm telling you, we should sign that guy from Celtic, Edouard. He is quality.
Apparently, he's going to be on his way to Leicester.
Just losing out by them one by one. I mean, would Calvert-Lewin be a good shout?
Yeah.
How much would he
Calvert-Lewin
cost?
would be a good shout, but he can't do everything Kane can do. So you kind of need you need Calvert-Lewin who's going to cost
There's no one in the world.
I know, but I'm saying you need Calvert-Lewin who's going to cost you like 60 million, and then you'd have to get Grealish on top of that.
Yeah. No, I'm saying any striker we buy has to be accompanied with a Grealish or a Zaha, someone of that ilk. Have to be. And you're bringing enough money to buy two players like that. Let's say a Grealish or a Zaha cost you 80 million or something, 70 to 80 million, and then you have enough money for a striker as well.
Depends how much we get for Kane.
Yeah, I'm going on the 150 million trend.
No, we're not getting 150.
No, how much?
120 max, I think.
Max. Why'd you say that?
So. I just don't think anyone's going to spend in this market 150 on him. I can't see it. I really can't see it. I think 120 is the maximum we're going to get. For a 28-year-old who, before this season, had a bit of a history of injuries and stuff, despite how good he is, I think it's 120 is probably the price.
If 120 is the max that we're going to get for Harry Kane, I don't think Levy accepts that this summer. I think that it's more likely we might accept that next summer. I don't think he'll sell him for that price this summer with 3 years left in his deal.
Might have to. I don't know. No, you're right. You're probably. That's what I think though. I don't think anyone's bidding more than 120.
Anyway, we got Matt, the last caller of the day. Matt, Premier Hotspur TV. Let's get him on. Matt, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I mean, well, I say good, but like there's just bad story after bad story after bad story. The life of a Tottenham Hotspur fan. But look, like you're doing right now, you got to laugh, don't you? You got to laugh. But run me through your thoughts on the whole Harry Kane saga at the moment.
It was a bit of obviously a shock sort of last night. Obviously, just breaking news.
Was it a shock though? Was it a shock?
I think the timing of it was more of a shock considering the season isn't finished for me. So I just don't know if he would do that. Like as a player, like wouldn't he wait for the end of the season, or why would he do it when he knows there's going to be fans coming back and we've still got a chance of at least getting into the proper Europa League. I know it's not enough for him, but I know he has the club at heart. I
don't think he's marched.
He wants to get it settled for the Euros, apparently.
Yeah, but I don't think he's marched into Daniel Levy's office in the last week and said, "I want to leave this football club." I think it's just evidently clear that he does want to leave the football club.
Yeah, I mean, his body language. Obviously not the last game, but the one before, he just looked a bit down and a bit frustrated and annoyed. So. Yeah, maybe it is no surprise to obviously, see it coming. In terms of how much do I want for him, I think it's got to be close to 150. I don't think 120's. I don't think it's enough for me. I think he's a player that's going to be very, very hard, if not impossible, to replace. So I want as much money as we can get for him. So at least then, hopefully, we can go and get some proper players in and maybe start rebuilding this squad in key areas, which Liverpool did with the sale of Coutinho, with Suarez. Maybe it's just our turn, to do the same. But I just don't trust the man in charge of transfers and the board.
Tell me about it. But let's say, for argument's sake, we do get 150 this summer. For argument's sake, how would you spend the money on realistic targets? Who would you bring in?
I'd bring in Jack Grealish. I think he'd change our midfield. He gives us something. He could play on the left. He could play in the playmaker position. I think he actually quite likes Tottenham from what I've seen. A lot of his social media posts, and he's close with a few of the England boys at Tottenham
he was
as
a step away from joining us, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So he wanted to come to us. So maybe I think we need a player like him who's gonna maybe take the responsibility and go, right, okay, he's gone. I want to be part of the new Tottenham. The winning Tottenham. He shows guts. He's great on the ball. Technically, I think he'd be really good for us. You could switch him with Son on the left. Son could play on the right. He's both footed. So Grealish would be number one for me. I think Danny Ings wouldn't be a bad striker for us. I mean, he seems to score against us quite a lot. So he's a very different type of striker to Kane. He can press He's probably better at pressing. His energy's pretty endless. He's a goal scorer. I mean, he's in a poor Southampton side, and he's scoring quite a few goals. So there's that. A centre back of some quality. I can't really think of a good enough name out there, for us to get. I like Botman from Lille, but I think he's going to be very hard to get hold of. And why would he come? They're winning the French league, and they're going to be in the Champions League.
There's actually one centre back who we've been linked with over the past week, and I looked into him last night, and I actually think he can be a really, really good, solid option for us, and that is Matthias Ginter from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Obviously, he was part of the German squad that won the World Cup. He won the Confederations Cup with Germany as well. He's used to playing out the back. Joachim Low has spoken very, very high praise of him, and he's out of contract. He's got 1 year left of his contract. Apparently, he's available for around 30-35 million. So I think that would be a top option for us, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard of him. He's not obviously a really pacey centre back, but then we tried that with Sanchez, and I think anyone's going to be better than Eric Dyer in the back four or three, whatever we want to play.
I think you need someone pacey next to him, though.
Yeah, 100%. So then, yeah, you can't have Toby sort of alongside him. So then it might have to be another centre back, or maybe Tanganga, or someone like that. It just depends who the manager's going to be. I think, Ben. I think that's the thing we really need to sort out, and quick. Would I take Zaha? I think he's a good player, but I think I'm in more of agreement probably with you, Ben. I think he is a bit overrated. I don't think he scores that many goals. I think he'd be quite frustrating in a Spurs shirt. In terms of he's tried obviously at Manchester United and it didn't work out. So
he was very young at that time.
Yeah. And then I'm kind of obviously Roy Hodgson's just obviously going to be retiring at the end of the season. So it sounds like Crystal Palace will be getting Frank Lampard as their new manager from reports I read today. So that could be an exciting project for him. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but I'd probably stay clear of Zaha. I think we just need to go and get key target. If we sell Kane, we've got to go and get key targets that we've needed for, let's say, 2 to 3 years. So a new right back, a new centre back, a striker, and a playmaker.
Coming into the game tomorrow, how are you feeling? What are your thoughts coming into the game?
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be maybe a bit like the Wolves game. I don't really know what Villa have got to play for, really. I mean, I think we're going to have fans back. Hopefully, the atmosphere is going to be good. If it's Kane's last game, hopefully give him a hell of a send off. But also I hope the fans, maybe chanting a few songs about the board and Daniel Levy. I think that's be a way of getting it across. That will be on, on TV.
The fans in the stadium are going to love the board. They're going to get free food before the game.
And a DJ set, don't forget that.
Oh, sorry.
Of course. Best DJ set around.
No, I think we will win tomorrow. I'm just going to try and enjoy it. It's the last home game of the season. I think tomorrow, obviously, I don't know, the players will come out to thank the fans like they do normally at the end of every
I'm pretty sure
home
they will.
game. I think it'd be interesting I think the camera will pan on Kane a lot, and it'll be interesting to see his body language and how he reacts. I think that will tell us a lot tomorrow about what's going on.
Yeah, completely agree. And finally, before you go, what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
I'll go 3-1 Spurs. I'll go
exactly
Kane,
like us.
Yeah, I'll go Kane 2, and I think Son will score tomorrow in front of the fans.
Brilliant. Big up yourself, Matt. Thanks a lot for coming on, mate. And everyone go subscribe to Premier Hotspur TV. Matt and Si doing a brilliant job over there. So thank you. Thanks a lot for coming on, mate.
Thank you very much, guys. Keep up the hard work. Love your content.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks,
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Up the Spurs. Come on.
Come on, you Spurs.
That's it. And that is it for the pre-match press conference and pre-match reaction. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you for your super chats, the callers, just general people watching and chatting along with us. We appreciate you all out there, so thank you very much. Tomorrow we've got a host of content coming your way. In the morning we've got a very special content coming your way with our very own BMJ, the big Martin Yole, former Tottenham manager that we all very much adored at Tottenham Hotspur. So we've got a few clips from the interview coming out. One already went out this morning about Martin Yole talking about future manager options, who we could potentially have as manager next season. Tonight, a clip is going to be going on about Martin Yole talking about his time with Gareth Bale and how he signed Gareth Bale. Tomorrow morning, we've got another clip coming out about how he got sacked, that infamous game at Getafe. And then later on, about 1 o'clock tomorrow, you're going to have the full 40-minute interview with Martin Yole. How much did you enjoy filming that with Martin yesterday?
It was my favourite interview, 100%
Literally.
my favourite interview. He went so deep into a lot of his time at Spurs, and he was very open about all his opinions and didn't hold anything back. So it was really great interview. I really enjoyed it. And
what a man! What a man!
Great man. And he's one of my favourite managers growing up. I absolutely adored him when I was a kid, and it was a real great moment for us to interview him.
And you know what, people it's a saying do not meet your heroes. Martin Jol is our hero, and we met him, and so I can tell you that that line is definitely false when it comes to Martin Jol, that's for sure. But do keep your eyes peeled. 1 o'clock tomorrow, the full 40-minute Martin Jol interview is coming your way, and then obviously coming into the match day, we're gonna be having all the standard match day content, the pre-match pump up at 4:30, followed by the live watch along, followed by the post fan show, and then morning after show on Thursday morning. So thank you everyone for joining today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.